Hello and welcome to Technology Simplicity YouTube channel. Go Digital Live Series episode 41. Should be here. Okay, thank you so much for watching. My name is Chong, and today's topic is quite simple in a way that is actually only contained of three alphabets: MVP. And some are actually asking like, what is MVP and should I really care about it? Should I concern about it? And is it really related to anything that I do? In fact, MVP, this concept, this methods been practiced for the past 10 years. And yeah, let's discuss more in the next coming 30 minutes, right? Okay, let's go. Well, as per today's topics is about MVP, and again, I will do emphasize MVP is not stand for most valuable persons. I know some of you might actually misunderstood about this part. Okay, today we're talking about what is MVP, how does it works, and why I need to care about it, and why I need to use it. Okay, before that, allow me to say big thank you. Thank you. I mean it, okay? Because 4,000 hours finally reaching this if you talk about monetization, it's YouTube, this the so-called minimum benchmark for a YouTube channel to achieve the requirement, which is subscribers numbers as well as watching hours. And fortunately, and I'm feel very lucky, and because of you, finally 4,000 watching hours. Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, so let's carry on today's topic. And again, as I promised, each episode will be a giveaway. And this week, since it's talk about project or product development in when it comes to most valuable no, not most valuable, okay, minimum viable product, okay, MVP. And it's talking about digital transformation success story. So I think this is very related to what we're going to discuss next. And tech video is something to recognize digital transformation success story, and we're going to feature two success story persons in the whole frame. So let's go. Okay, and again, in this MVP, I want to emphasize one more time. A lot of people thought that MVP stand for most valuable persons. I'm actually here. We're talking about minimum viable product. Okay, so what does this product really means? Okay, let me share with you. Before I really continue, I wanted to put up this disclaimer, okay, in case anybody want to come in and say, hey, MVP is not from you, you're not the guy that invented the MVP. Okay, again, the whole signing session is for education purpose. I'm not trying to replace any independent professional judgment, okay, and so on. Okay, so let's carry on. And since a few episodes ago, I started to introduce these legends on my slide, especially all my live series. Okay, I did share out the slide in the video descriptions that you can actually find. From the slide itself, some people actually ask me like, do you have further reference, so on. So I will found like, okay, why not I just put everything that can refer other than from the slide is clickable. So look for these three fella lah, these three animated icons, then you can click on the slide already. Okay, so next. Okay, what is MVP? Again, I want to mention is about minimum viable product. Okay, there are a lot of understanding and different kind of definitions. For me, I would call it a version of product that just enough features to be usable by the very early stage of customer, who then can actually provide the feedback for your future product development. So some might say, okay, so MVP equal to version 0.1, something like that. Actually, yes and no. Okay, however, I would say focusing on releasing MVP means developer try to avoid lengthy and unnecessary work. So you want to working on the versions and respond to the feedback. So you need to prioritize what kind of feature, or we call it killer feature, right? You want to release and test the market first, see whether they really want this. Then only you develop further. Okay, still blur, right? I know this page, when it comes to the very first page of formal definition, all the audience out there will be blur. I understand. I truly understand. I'm with you. Okay, let me share with you. Before that, let me repeat one more time. Even though you know MVP stands for minimum viable product, but according to this meme, right, memes, like, I do not think it means what you think it means. It's true. A lot of people thought they know about MVP. Even they talk about MVP, but sometimes the definition and understanding is so different. So let us actually dig further. The informal definition that I can found using one picture to explain. Oh, I think this is perfect. Okay, let's say you try to build a car. Okay, a lot of people say car is a moving vehicle and you're going to save a lot of energy in terms of you putting up a wheel so that you can move from destination to another destination smoother. So you thought wheel is the most important, but actually MVP is not like this. For us, MVP, let's say even though you release version 1 is this line, it should be very similar to what you're trying to do already. Okay, if you just come out with wheel like this, then your end goal is actually a car. I don't think this is MVP. Then secondly is a car has have 4 wheels, okay, which we all understand. And then when you first build up 2 views, definitely the user experience is different. So it will give wrong impressions to the first batch of the customer and user who actually thought like you try to build not a car, but a motorcycle, something else. So to build a minimum viable product, I think it's very important that it must be really related back to the final product that you are trying to develop. So far, can you follow? Okay, if yes, then let's carry on. I know some of you might still don't understand when you say MVP and then why is this okay? How you balancing between the minimum work and deliver something so close to the final product? Okay, yes, balancing is there, and again, just for laugh, huh? I see a lot of pitching out there. They always say that I'm going to come out a killer app. For example, you come out a car that actually can. Okay, I don't know how to describe this. I think the picture do the 1,000 words, huh? Then in the end, you actually came out MVP like this. So this is just for laugh, but it's true. So that many people actually trying to set too high expectation when before even the started development. Then in the end, they give too much pressure to the development team, and yeah. Okay, this is just for laugh, but it's good food for thought as well. So let's carry on, and I think this is one more better one picture to represent 1,000 words. Okay, let's say you're coming out a donut. That's your final product, and you need to do what you need to actually come out is the fundamental of the donut, right? If you can't make a simple donut without any flavor, you know, you should set the characteristic of the your MVP as first place. So for me, MVP is about you allows your team to get a maximum amount of proven customer knowledge with the least amount of effort. Yeah, this is tricky. Okay, when we talk about least amount of effort, doesn't mean you don't need to do much things. Doesn't mean that way, okay? So let me give you one more example here is much more clearly definition is the primary purpose of MVP is for you to test a business idea at minimum cost. Okay, for donuts, actually the came out the donut is not really the costly stuff. In fact, the topping is the value there. Okay, I know some of you might want to argue, no, the fundamental is the essential and so on, but in terms of cost, right? Let's say your topping is something very costly, so you need to avoid that. That's your final product, and your MVP should be something simple. When it comes to product design, it should be very similar to what your final product is. Remember the previous slide I showed you, the car example. You shouldn't come out 2 wheels while your final product is 4 wheels. That will set wrong expectations and wrong interpretation as well towards what you're trying to build. Okay, so I hope this is much more clearer definition to you. So far you can follow, huh? Okay, let's carry on. Just for laugh one more time. Okay, this is nightmare, and if you're a developer out there, put in the comment box no, so that I know you are with me. Okay, we gone through that kind of nightmare before. You know, we came out a plan, 3 months, 6 months development plan, even for MVP. And in the final week before release, suddenly your stakeholders, your investor, or someone who can make decision influence you and say, please add 2 more features. Yeah, that is nightmare for all of us. Okay, I know it's just for laugh, the memes here, but at the same time, I want to think how to avoid this disaster, right? Okay, I think here is the part that the project manager or the product manager playing a very important roles in managing everyone's expectations as well as setting up how to deliver MVP. Okay, let's carry on this discussion. Okay, when it comes to MVP, then some might say, okay, if MVP is so great, then why all the development out there not applying MVP methods or concepts? So there are quite a numbers of alternates and options. Okay, these are just a few more that very similar to MVP. Some say it's minimum lovable product. Okay, what is lovable product means you deliver something, then you can catch your user heart. You can touch them by giving them something very impressive, even though it's a most minimum effort and most minimum effort. Okay, number two is minimum marketable product, which means your marketing team can actually go and sell it out, spread the words and stuff like that. That's another techniques. Then number three, this one is a bit tricky also. Minimum catchy offers. Some say you not necessarily to build a whole product. In fact, you can build a very fantastic landing page, and then you can sell subscriptions. Let's say you try to go for SaaS model, and before even you launch your product, you're already selling your lifetime so-called membership, for example. So there's something catchy offer, and then you're selling in a very low price. Okay, and something like that. Then number four, black hole strategy. I'm not sure you heard about that. For those who never heard about it, the simple explanation is like this. Okay, I'm sure most of you also heard about blue ocean strategy. Okay, blue ocean strategy means you try to develop something and sell something that the market not exists yet. That's why blue ocean means you create a new market segments. Okay, out of that, black hole strategy is exactly opposite of blue ocean strategy. Okay, so what does black hole strategy does is you look into the existing market, and then you realize even though there are a lot of players, the pioneer are there, but they might actually miss out certain segments. So what you're trying to do is you focusing on that segment. I'll give you one example about black hole strategy is last time when Friendster was so established, and I think it's quite global. Everyone is using it that time. How Facebook came out is they are using black hole strategy. They're just focusing on a few pain points that the Friendster can't do. Okay, which are, okay, you go back and record it because it's already history. I no need to mention it already. Okay, that's black hole strategy, and as well as you have a lean investor strategy whereby you build MVP not for the users, but you want to pitch to investor first place to convince them that you want to build something massive, complex, and longer terms. Okay, there are a lot of styles, options, methods out there, but don't worry, let's come back MVP. Okay, again, just for love, and this is so true. So because I myself also gone through this process before. Most of the time, developer, we love to add features to product, and then we feel like this could be awesome. Then only we realize after months of efforts, spending a lot of resources, then you realize how come nobody actually like really need the feature. That's the part we realize we forgot to marketing it. So these memes actually kind of like, I know it's just for laugh, but it's also actually remind us try to avoid adding certain features without actually get in touch with the user or customer. Because ultimately what you're trying to build, or what problem we try to solve, is go back to the user and customer, right? Because the problem solving is the value added to them. So if they don't feel whatever you try to solve is a value for them, and I think there's no point for you to keep develop further or perhaps adding new feature. Okay, keep in mind, and then let's go. Again, one is MVP. Okay, a bit technical here, but I think it's a very good example that can find online. So terrible wise is which feature I can build. If you ask yourself in that way, that is terrible start already. Okay, don't do this. It's bad that if you ask what are the minimum features to provide at least some value. Nah, you shouldn't think that way also. When you say some value means you are not solving a complete problem in a at whole. Okay, it's okay if you ask yourself what version of my product can I build that captures the most value. Yes, it's okay already, but the best thing is you think about this part. How can I validate my value proposition? When it comes to this, I think it's contradict between a marketing person or who a founder, entrepreneur versus a developer. Developer always start to think from that way. Okay, I know you try to solve technical problem and you spend a lot of energy, but when it comes to deliver product to users nowadays with such a huge competition out there, you need to start with value proposition. In other words, you need to start to think what makes user feel this is a value added for them from what you're trying to build. Think about that. That is the real MVP for me. Okay, so just for love again, one more time, some developer might use the abuse the words MVP by always explain to the team that, oh, the reason this one is not workable because it's a MVP, and this scenario will happen. Okay, I know it's just for laugh, but please don't abuse the word MVP for the sake of just being lazy or not trying to deliver the most valuable propositions from your product. Okay, so let's continue. Apology for this. Okay, so the benefits of actually having MVP, I would say there are 5 M's here. Okay, since we talk about MVP, so let's start with M's. There are 5 M's here. Number one benefit is once you have this kind of method approach, you're more focused on the building the core. Okay, let's say you try to build a URL shortener. The core is actually lets you shorten it any URL anytime anywhere, for example. So you need to focus on that part first, and you need to make it so easy to shorten an URL, and then without without any hassle or without any pain. So that's one part. Then second benefit is you need to have a meteoric product development. Means it's so fast. You can release, just like that. That is second M. And by prioritize the features and you know which one is actually solving the real problem, that is great. Okay, that's why you can hit a very speedy product development. Then number three, the M is market validations. Even though sometimes you feel like your idea is brilliant, or even though you feel like it's a billion-dollar idea and something like that, but the market is not ready to accept or to understand or just to accept it, you can't sell. I think similar things happens when Microsoft tried to introduce touchscreen quite many years ago, and that time the market is not ready. Okay, when I say market doesn't mean just users. Sometimes manufacturer, partners, collaborators, um, distributors, or even sellers, resellers, and so on. So it's not ready. So timing also is kind of like a big point here in terms of market validation. Then number four, in terms of the M, is minimizing the product development cost. This is definitely involving a few things, including timeline. Okay, you're not trying to develop something in 1 year, then only you realize you fail, right? You rather spend 1 month, then you can justify that, okay, the whole idea is not now. Okay, you need to scrap that off. And so you try to minimize product development costs, from timeline to manpower. You're not trying to develop 100 features, and in the end only you realize nobody is want to use it. But you will rather, just spend the most minimum effort to validate other than market, also to come out of product development. And the last M is actually more feedback. Okay, remember we mentioned about MVP is something you want to catch the early customer and collect their feedback. You need to actually meet the first batch of customer. Then from there you evolve. That's how we call it. We listen to the feedbacks. I think feedback is definitely is a must in whole development, because without that you are not doing something what people must want. But of course you need to be careful on that. Later I'm going to show you the tips in terms of even though there's 1 million feedback about one part, but doesn't mean it's so important. Okay, let's carry on. And just for love again, this is kind of remind me about MVP is not saying that um you already came out with a whole product development plan, then you prioritize the few things, then you launch, then you feel like it's awesome, you're trying to solve a problem. This one is actually going back without you building anything. You need to validate first whether people have the problem or not. If they do know they have the problem and the problem still exists, then yes, you are in the right track. It's much more on marketing and education and awareness. But if there's actually no problem, then you need to think about what kind of value you added to them. Is it a convenience, or is it something very extraordinary and extra? Yeah, think about that. Okay, and let me share you um, whether we need to choose MVP approach when it comes to coming out with a new product or an innovation. Is it the best option? For me, this is excellent question. Okay, I will give you answer in this way. If you can use these simple steps to build MVP, I will say this is the best option you have right now. Okay, you start with a market research. You really need to understand what does the market need. Okay, start from a simple size. You don't necessarily do one shot go for 1,000 user and then interview them, survey, ask feedback, and so on. Perhaps you can come with a smaller size. 10, 50. I'm sure you can reach that. Then start with the S, simple. Then idea that on value additions. So you see a problem in the market, then you came out with so-called problem solving method solutions, then you validate it, then you map out the user flow, whether the problem to solution for them is move, for them is something they like. Then only you prioritize in terms of the features. That's the P for step. Once you prioritize the features, then you launch the very first version of your MVP with the most minimum cost, minimum development effort, as well as most minimum feature. Then you exercise BML in the E. Okay, build, measure, and learn. Repeat. Something's very similar to what we understand today's world is something like agile. Yeah, something like that. And you can talk to a scrum master. They will tell you almost the same idea. Okay, for me it's simple as this. Okay, so now you get the idea, and I see this happen before when people actually suggest some improvement for the product, and then your developer put in the backlog, never execute. This one is really about project management, team management. But just for laughter, so I see a lot of products, even big startup, um, prominent startup. Yeah, back end is like that. I seen that before, and I'm not going to review anyone. Okay, yeah, let's continue. There are 5 common mistakes when it comes to actually build an MVP. Number one, you're choosing the wrong problem to solve. Maybe the user described the problem statement in the wrong way. You interpret the wrong. So this is most crucial. Okay. Number two, you skip the prototyping phase. You straight away come out the product. Come on, don't do that. Okay. Number three, you're targeting the wrong set of persona. Remember I mentioned about you before you start. You need to do a market research. You need to talk to maybe just 10 or 50. Talk to the as accurate as possible to someone who's going to buy your product in the future. Okay, don't talk to someone who's not going to buy or even not going to use your product. That is a wrong persona already. And number four, inappropriate development method. Some of you still using waterfall. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. Just not applicable in an MVP world. Okay. Then number five, you're confused about qualitative and quantitative feedback. Qualitative means you're not asking a user to give you fill out a 30 questions kind of survey form. That is quantitative. In fact, you just want your user, let's say you ask a simple 3 questions and something like use one word to describe your experience so far, and yeah, you capture their understandings and emotion right there. So that's something. So after 5 common mistakes, there's a way to validate MVP. For small resources to large resources with a very strong evidence and weak. Okay, there's a graph here. If you want to know further, how to really go through the whole MVP stuff, I'm actually came out a simple handbook. It's called Complete Checklist to MVP Development. It's just newly freshly blue. Okay, please click on the slide or you can refer to the video description to get your free copy right away. Okay, this is the bonus. It's never happened in the life before because free handbook will be given away. Okay, so I think this is the end of today's session about MVP, not most valuable person. It's minimum viable products, and we've been go through the what, how, and why. And again, the giveaway, as I mentioned a few episodes away, please follow my social media on how to capture this Hall of Fame features. But still, you need to hit a certain qualification and requirement. Refer to the website and refer to the link in the video description as well. Then upcoming wise, allow me to share that the next topic of GoDigital Live series is determined by you. You have 2 choices when you click the link up there. Number 1, you can suggest the topic. Okay, and number 2, you can browse to the ideas and the topics already submitted by others. Then you just vote for the topic that you like the most, because I will pick the most likes, most votes topics as the next topic. So let's look at the result from what I saw is how to create most visited website, and I'm really surprised that really quite a number of people actually want that. And yeah, it's kind of tricky to talk about this, because it's like also I give away a secret recipe because I have a few websites that have like this. So let's talk about most visited website in terms of the list. Okay, how they do it and why you want to achieve this. This must be a reason also. Okay, when I tell you how they do it and how complex is it, then you will start to question whether you really want to do that or not. Okay, so that will be next week on 17 August. Most visited websites. Okay, remember the giveaway is Tech Media Hall of Fame, and how you get it. Only one winner every week will be won away, and the way you do it is follow my social media, answer the there's a question is going to pop up next slide, and you need to answer on the social media whenever I post out the similar things. The first person who answer correctly will be get. Yes, you'll be contacted. So the question is very simple. Is MVP equal to initial product development? The first correct answer and live chat comment will be the winner. Okay, determined by the timestamp. So go and follow my social media and you will wait it out. Okay, yes or no. So I think that's all. Okay, remember to go and capture the tag media giveaway, and every Wednesday 8:15 p.m. Go Digital Live series by Technology YouTube channel. My name is Jay Chong. So okay, come back here. So we've been covered about MVP, most. Okay, you get it. I've been people actually ask me like MVP stand for most valuable person. Too much. Okay, anyway, I hope you get certain idea, and if you enjoyed today's discussion and my sharing, please do me one big favor, click a like so that I know you really enjoy this, and then subscribe to my channel and put a ring so that you can get notified next time I go live on every Wednesday at 15 p.m. as well as every Sunday. There will be a new video in terms of technical tutorial will be shared it out on Sunday at 15 p.m. as well. So thank you so much for watching. My name is Jay Chong. Hope to see you again soon. And stay home, stay safe, everyone. Goodbye.